Good morning and welcome back to 120th. Today we are talking about photography inspiration, and we'll talk about this beautiful site that is behind me in a moment. There's been a couple of times recently where I've headed out with a camera with a plan to go and take some beautiful photographs of something, and been back home again less than an hour later having not shot a frame. And what I've been finding is I've been wandering out on my usual routes, getting the camera out, getting all set up, and looking around and just feeling bored and uninspired by everything that I'm seeing. And it's become a bit of a block, like a mental block. And so, it needs addressing. And I thought I'd share that with you, the process of addressing it. Because if I'm feeling it, then it's possible somebody else is as well somewhere, and maybe together we can get through it. The thought that the concept that I've come to, having spent all this time thinking about this, is that what is not inspiring me and what's not working for me at the moment is what I'm going to describe as passive photography, where I head out into the world and hope, essentially stand still, metaphorically stand still and wait for inspiration to come to me. So what I intend to do is change to a more active photography, where rather than heading out and going for a walk and waiting for stuff to come to me or hoping that I see something that encourages me to fire the shutter, what I will do is be more proactive in going looking for things, or spaces at least, where I'm almost certain I'm going to find something. And that is why we're here. This is the Llantony Priory, somewhere in Wales. I believe these are the Brecon beacons in front of me and behind me, in fact. And it's a wonderful time of year. It's autumn, the trees are turning. I've immediately been hit with a problem, which is that the owner of or rather the farmer whose land this is on, has basically said you're not allowed to film here. So what I'm going to do is I won't film it. I'm just going to go and take some photographs in there, and we'll reconvene here afterwards. And then I think after that we're going to head up here. There's a little path that runs up this way, up into the trees up there, and we'll shoot back down the hill. I've got the Bronica S2A with me. I have for once brought with me a full selection of lenses, and this is part of this active photography that I'm talking about. Quite often I'll go out with one camera, one lens, and hope that something will come to me, hope that a good frame will present itself. What I'm doing today is I've brought a selection of lenses with me. I've got a selection of filters with me, and I am going to actively create images that I want to create. That's the plan. Let's see if it works. Right then, that is photography in the Priory finished, and so I can start filming again. I'm now outside. This is quite a nice little scene here. I was shooting on the 50mm in there, and I've now swapped over to the 75mm f2.8, and I'm going to get the filters out. I'm thinking a bit of a red filter. It's a shame I can't get closer actually, but there's a funky looking electric fence all the way around it, which I don't fancy playing with. Hey. Enormous bumblebee. Hey buddy, come on you go. Everybody wants to know what I'm doing, eh? The horses, the bumblebees. Let's try a spot meter here. 2.8. So 250. Let's try that. We're on 250. Ready to rock. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's move on. Right then, found my next spot, which is here. We're kind of up the hill from the ruins are just here. I think I'm going to get a longer lens and try and narrow the gap between this little stumpy thing in the foreground and the ruins in the background. So that's the plan. Let's give it a go. I've got a doubler as well that I've never used, so I might get that out today and just there could be some lovely shots of people walking up the path here. So let's do that. We've got the Zenzanon 150 f3.5. I'm going to shoot just back down the path here, but we've got 150 plus a doubler, so it's 300 mils. And then just got to wait for some people to come towards me, because that's what they'll get a lovely background and the light and whatnot. So let's set up for that. I mean, it's a nice shot. I quite like a long lens shot, you know. So let's drop down a bit. Maybe we'll ignore the ruins and just go with that wonderful tree. Hey, now I just need someone to come up the path. Here come some people. Okay, we're ready. Let's fire off a few of these. And wait for them to get to that bit there. I really like this last black and white one that I took. I'm really happy with that one. After that, I switched over to Kodak Gold 200. I must have hit the wrong button on my video camera because it didn't record anymore. But here are a few of the colour photos that I got before I headed home. Alright, well, we're back. Photos developed. You will have noticed that in between me finishing that shoot and now getting all the photos developed, I've got a cold and I'm losing my voice, so woohoo! But what did we learn? Is my blockage cleared? Is that it? Is that now, you know, plain sailing creativity from here on in? No, obviously not. It's not as simple as that. But I did learn a few important things about myself, both in the shoot process then and in the thought process in the lead up to it. Number one is, I think I'd become a bit complacent. I'd got so used to just picking up a camera and walking out the front door and capturing the occasional image that I was happy with, I almost took my eye off the ball and stopped trying. Then me coming to the conclusion of this, you know, active versus passive photography was a realization that essentially I had been kind of waiting for creativity to come to me. I'd been sitting quietly in a room, crying into my hands, waiting for creativity to notice me and come and get me. And that's not how the world works. You want something, you've got to go and get it. So that is obviously what I'll be doing from now on, is actively pursuing inspiration rather than hoping inspiration will find me. So that's number one. Number two, a big realization from that shoot just gone. I really don't like standard lenses. And by that I mean 50 mils on a 35mm camera. I mean 75, 80 mil on a medium format camera. And I guess it would be 135 or 150 on a large format. Those standard lenses, as they're called, so they're not wide, they're not telephoto. As I've always known that they do nothing for me. I've always known that I don't find them inspiring, and lo and behold, I put a big wide lens on, I enjoy taking photographs. Put a long lens on, I enjoy taking photographs. Put the standard lens on and I get a bit bored. And I think a lot of what I do for this channel, where I go out and test cameras, often I've only got the one lens, and it is almost always a standard lens, because that's what, you know, most lenses that turn up with a camera or supplied with a camera will be a standard 50mm equivalent lens. So basically the big change for me, what is going to clear this blockage, is putting more thought into this. And you know, being more active about the planning of my photography. And I used to be like that, and if you look at the timeline of my videos, you might even be able to tell there's a point where I was putting tons into the planning, and then it kind of tailed off a little bit, and it became more sort of passive photography. And so this is about steering myself back towards that kind of active photography, towards photography that inspires me and you know, gets me excited. On that note, the next shoot that I have planned is exciting. It's the next video in the series where I'm focusing on local businesses, and I'm shooting with a florist in this week coming up. It's autumn. They've got some wonderful autumn colours in there. It's going to be gorgeous. I'm going to take some lights with me. I haven't yet decided on the cameras. It'll be probably a couple from this shelf here. I think I did a load of camera testing recently in my, I also did a lot of camera buying recently in my little lull, my photography lull, because that's what you do, isn't it? You know, if you're lacking inspiration, then you go out and you buy cameras. That's what you do, right? Yeah. One of the things I did get done in the last few weeks is doing a lot of camera testing, and I tested loads of cameras that I've got that I haven't actually put a roll of film through yet. Developed all those, see how I was getting on. And one of the cameras that I was actually quite impressed with was the Mamiya Super 23. I was getting some really crisp, sharp images out of that. So I think I'm probably going to take that Mamiya Super 23 on my shoot later this week to use as a kind of in the moment, you know, I mean, it's designed as a press camera. So I'm going to use that to capture activity as it happens. But I'm also going to take my speed graphic 4x5 and get some really nice setup shots. So that's the plan for the next shoot. That'll be the next video coming up on the channel. I reckon it's going to be about 10 days or so before I've got that up. Beyond that shoot, I've got some really interesting stuff coming up, and I'm really enjoying the active planning process. Plus more printing in the darkroom, obviously. Landscape stuff coming up, large format, medium format. I have a plan actually. I might do a video which is like, what's the best medium format camera? At this, I've kind of, my collection has reached a bit of a peak. I need to start selling stuff. So before I sell stuff, I'm going to get all the cameras out and put them on a table and talk about what's good and what's not and why you would go for one thing over another. So if you're not currently subscribed, hit that subscribe button to make sure you don't miss that. Make sure you don't miss me showing off the full collection at its peak before I start selling stuff. And that's it for today. I will see you for the next one when I'll be taking photos of a florist. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.